Have the best paint on the planet? Hell yeah. We only sell Better and More, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Now paint and supply.
Corey, you're not a guest on your program. You're the host of your program. Getting it all together on a Friday afternoon. No, I'm prepped up. I'm always prepared for the program. Never flying by the seat of my pants. Just show sheet after show sheet chock full of info each day. Yeah, we actually prepare for the show. We don't just go on and wing it. My God. Anyway, I got caught up in the green room. Literally, it is, I don't know how to describe that color I'm looking at out the studio into the little studio waiting room over there with the sofas and the like. It's a bad green color. I mean, green's kind of rough to work with, I think, for indoor colors. You got to kind of go with the light green. But if you're not careful, that light green can turn into something that's sort of depressing looking. This is borderline on that, the whole green room. Anyway, I was in there just doing a little research, chilling out on one of the sofas, thinking it's like, yeah, it's about 2 or 3 after 4. Corey, it's 5 minutes after 4 and you're on the air. Let's go. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Cha-ching. Kaboom goes the dynamite. The weekend is upon us. Looks like a good weekend except for like Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning doesn't look like rain. Saturday night doesn't look like rain. Saturday night looks nice. But not only is rain forecasted for Saturday afternoon, severe rain like tornado possibilities. Some winds of 50 plus mile an hour. We got that kind of strange forecast a few weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, expecting Mardi Gras Day, I guess not a week ago, Mardi Gras Day, winds that could be like 50, 60 miles an hour. That never materialized. It was windy in New Orleans, in Jefferson Parish, but it's like we're removing the portalets because we don't want the wind knocking them over, that kind of thing. And I did see a couple of spots where, you know, a couple of portalets were knocked over. I don't know if it was the wind or people doing it or whatever, but the winds were blowing, there's no doubt, but it was like 30 miles an hour, maybe 20 miles an hour, probably more like 20, which is very windy. 20 mile an hour winds, very windy. You know, we get a nice little breeze outside. It's like 5 miles an hour. It's nothing. So no, we didn't get anywhere near 50. I pay attention to the weather. I mean, I do a talk radio TV program. We live in New Orleans. Weather's part of our life. Because we live in the rainiest area in the country, from Houston to Jacksonville, about 60, 65 inches of rain, you know, a year. So I pay attention to the weather and all that, but I've never heard, never in my life, like Mardi Gras Day may have been the first time, just like, hey, we're getting some thunder showers and the winds could be 50, 60 miles an hour. I've never heard that before. Just we're having torrential thunder showers. It could get windy. It could be rainy. A lot of rain could come down. It was always lots of rain more than wind. And now maybe the second, third time, I don't know, in my life, I don't know, am I wrong? Weather folks are predicting a rain event with a lot of wind, almost like tropical storm-ish type conditions. And they're getting damn good at the predictions, huh? Like Tuesday, they had this thing like Saturday afternoon. I mean, and it's pretty much held true all week long. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. The North Shore is supposed to be a little more severe than the South Shore. And the possibility of tornadoes maybe a little bit higher percentage on the North Shore than the South Shore. And when I say North Shore, I mean really Hammond, It's the I-12 corridor. And then you can take I-10 east from there in Slidell, heading over into like southern Mississippi. That's the North Shore. You know, New Orleans is 20 miles south of all of that. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Hey, I got air conditioning running right now. It's crazy. I like that feature where you can have the auto on, you know, where it does AC or heat. My thermostat literally has a heat side and an AC side. Like, where do you want the heat to kick on? Where do you want the AC to kick on? I've got the heat kicking on like it's 70, and I've got the AC kicking on like it's 72. Anyway, there's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of the system just not on at all. If you're in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, weekday, weekend, overnight, holiday, you need air conditioning or heat help immediately. Total Maintenance is there. And what's great about Total Maintenance, not only are they convenient, not only do they come immediately, not only do they have a sense of urgency, they're honest and they're experts at what they do. This is key. Honest air conditioning and heating experts. I don't want to learn about air conditioning. I want someone I can trust. And I want experts that diagnose it right the first time, not putting in parts, guessing, we're getting there. I had a little breakdown, a glitch with my system about 2 years ago. Lucas diagnosed it right away over the phone. I'm not kidding. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately because they know you're inconvenienced. Total Maintenance in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge. If you need AC or heat help, tm-ac.com. Think Total Maintenance. The New Orleans Metro, the fastest shrinking metro. Metro New Orleans, the fastest shrinking city in America. Not the most growth, the opposite. Not the least growth, no growth, shrinking, losing population. Not the least growth. Some city has the least growth, 0.1% growth. New Orleans has negative growth, a decline. People leaving the area. No, just crazy. New Orleans and its suburbs, Metro New Orleans. This isn't just an Orleans Parish thing. It's a Louisiana thing. This is what always blows me away with Democrats and Republicans that are entrenched. It's like, man, New Orleans and Louisiana are on pretty equal footing, pretty equal ground. Louisiana is a state, New Orleans is a city, kind of have floundered together for about 40 years. Now look at Tennessee, for instance. Tennessee is a much more forward state. They're progressive, and I don't mean in the liberal way, just forward thinking. And you have Nashville, which is like an exploding growth city. And you have Memphis that's sort of humming along. But Memphis doesn't have explosive growth like Nashville does. Yet they're in the same state. So they're two different cities, same state. State's taking off like a rocket. Nashville's taking off like a rocket. Memphis is doing okay. So you can have, it's not like, man, if Louisiana's doing well, New Orleans does well. If New Orleans does well, Louisiana does well. If New Orleans does well, Louisiana probably does well because there aren't any other major cities really in Louisiana. And New Orleans is becoming more of a minor city the way we lose population. But no, both have struggled. New Orleans as a city, Louisiana state for about the last 40 years. So I don't know if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I don't know. You blame the other or take credit for anything, to be honest with you, around these parts. This was crazy. I mean, hard to watch. A guy driving his white SUV the wrong way on the Causeway Bridge and pretty much at speed was on the northbound bridge, but heading towards Metairie, like it'd be in the left lane if you're going correctly, but he's like, in the right because so everybody else was over in the right lane going to the North Shore, and this guy's beelining towards Metairie on the northbound bridge. They got him, but didn't arrest him. Some family members came and picked him up. I'll find out the details for you. I was just at my Smoothie King a little while ago. I live in that Riverbend Carrollton section of town, right by the parish line where Claiborne's turns into Jefferson Highway, by the Lowe's, by the Sewage and Water Board, by the Salvation Army store. I go to the Smoothie King across the street from Oxnard, right there on Jefferson Highway. That's owned by Jay and his dad. They've been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. They also own the Old Metairie Smoothie King, Airline at LeBar by Causeway. They're open late, by the way. Very family-oriented, man. I'll be heading over to Rouse's over there, which is open till like 10, and I'll beeline through that parking lot 8:30, 9 at night, and there's mom, dad, kids in there getting smoothies, maybe the angel food. That's a good snack. Losing weight, gain weight, meal replacement. Not all Smoothie Kings are the same. Far from it. Experience the best. Smoothie King, Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard. Old Metairie Smoothie King, Airline at LeBar by Causeway.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
I'm going to let Fletcher decide which intro he wants. Either intro A, Fletcher Mackel, WDSU sports director, sports reporter, sports anchor, sports blogger. Over 20 years in the business, joins us. Very opinionated, but basing it on a lot of facts. He knows his business. Or B, fresh off of that arson conviction, Fletcher Mackel joins us.
Yeah, maybe somewhere in between, but probably more of the first than the second.
Don't play with matches, Fletch.
Yeah, I won't, thanks.
All right, we'll go with C, none of the above.
Yeah, that's cool. We can do that too. I'm good with that.
Is the arson thing just all made up on my part, or there's something to it?
Yes, I would say made up on your part, yes.
100%. Wow. All right. Fletcher Mackel's with us from Channel 6 Sports. What's going on, Fletch? Anything new going on in the world? You hit any new spots to eat, or, like I like to say, an oldie but a goodie?
No, this week I kind of laid. I got a little. I made it through. The Super Bowl. Well, obviously, the terrible events on January 1 was a lot of coverage. The snowstorm was a lot of coverage.
Yep.
Super Bowl and then Mardi Gras. So I think my body is telling me it's time to take a break. I was a little under the weather this week, so I kind of laid up most of the week, just worked and did nothing else.
Yeah, I hear you, man. You earned it. You're right. You were like news reporter, sports reporter, all that good stuff. La Boca has the crawfish empanadas for a few weeks, months. Basically like a killer crawfish pie. I went over there with my brother and a couple of buddies and knocked out, what did I have? Now I'm even forgetting if I had the hanger or flank steak. I forget which one I had. But, Argentine steakhouse, Fletch. I like a New York strip. I like a ribeye. I'll eat a filet just because it's lean and tender. If it's good somewhere, like Houston's has a prime Allen Brothers filet that's fantastic. But when I go to the Argentine place like La Boca, I like getting the, kind of those alternative cuts.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love the skirt steak. The skirt at La Boca is maybe my favorite steak in the city. So I love La Boca, and the skirt there, it just like melts in your mouth. I know Rizzuto's has, I hope I'm saying it right, like a spinalis or a spinalis steak.
No, it's spinalis. Yeah, the cap, the ribeye cap.
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing cut too. So yeah, I enjoy some of those cuts. Look, I think we got a lot of great steak places, but since you mentioned La Boca, I am a big La Boca guy, and I do love the skirt there.
I think the purists, they love that spinalis cut. My favorite cut probably is the inside of the ribeye. That's probably my favorite piece of meat on the whole cow. But anyway, Fletcher Mackel's with us. What did I want to ask you, Fletch? But before I get into Pelicans already eliminated from the playoffs.
Pretty terrible.
And what is anything big going on in sports? I guess the nothing really with the Saints, just sticking with Carr at quarterback. It looks like, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, it's one of those things. I still am one of these. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I still think something could come out of left field. Like, do they draft somebody at 9? Do they trade back into the first round? Do they trade up, to draft this kid Cam Ward? But obviously, I think they've built this year with Derek Carr. And I don't necessarily know if the Saints season ticket holders like that. I mean, it doesn't seem like Carr's all in. It certainly seemed like he may have been willing to explore, hey, if you all don't want me or you all aren't all in on me, which I don't think they are. Look, it's been Derek Carr is not a bad player. Derek Carr is not a great player. Your floor is probably 500, a little better, but your ceiling isn't that much higher. So it's really, a tough thing right now. So I think that they realize we may be stuck with him for another year. Let's say all the right things, do all the right things, because they're not celebrating him. They're saying things like, we're comfortable with Derek Carr. We think we have a guy who can win. That's not celebrating him as he's some amazing, great, awesome top 10 in the league quarterback. Now, maybe they get the greatest year ever out of Derek Carr and they make a deep run. But I think Derek Carr knows and the Saints know this is probably it. Even if he does great this year, this is probably it for him. Or he would have to do great here, go 12-5 in a deep run in the playoffs to ensure that
it's his job.
And then everybody will forget about his first 2 years.
Of course. Spencer Rattler?
No, I don't think he's the guy either. I mean, look, I think we saw some glimpses, but we saw more of he's not the guy than he is the guy. I understand it was a beat-up offensive line. His playmakers weren't there. But when you get chances, you got to make the most of them. And I felt like there were more negatives than positives from Spencer Rattler.
My God, the TNT guys were like peeing in their pants last night about the Pelicans being eliminated from the playoffs in mid-March.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. It's the worst season in 20 years. I mean, it's crazy. So, I mean, it's not a good look. I don't know what else to say.
Hey, last week when you were heading off the air, we were talking about Zion, and you were kind of insinuating like it's not over yet. He's playing well. Maybe this is part of the plan. Like they could trade him if some team really comes in with something insane.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is let's see if David Griffin is retained as the executive vice president. I think he will be, but obviously I'm assuming he's going to be the guy making the decisions, but I don't know. But I do think they're at a real inflection point where they have to start winning. And I understand this year they were historically injured, but even when they were relatively healthy, they still weren't very good. I mean, like, look at last night. Orlando's a good team, not a great team. They got some good young players. Paulo Banchero is going to be a superstar in this league. And they were up by 36 at one point.
Yeah,
they weren't even
like at halftime. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Right at the third quarter up by 36. So
I think this offseason, you got some major questions to answer. If Zion looks great, is playing great, is saying and doing all the right things, I'm not saying you trade him. I'm just saying if some team comes in with a buy high offer, so to say, you definitely have to at least consider it. Are they going to call 29 other teams and shop him? No. But if there's a team that comes in that wants to offer you something that you feel like, whoa, we can't turn this down, then take it and move on and go in a different direction.
That comment about the Saints are the sauce from DeMarcus Cousins, I think rings true. Would Griffin be around if that was the only Gail Benson-owned team or if Schwest owned the Pelicans? I mean, I think that we're even talking about him still being around is because the Pelicans are sort of an afterthought to the Saints organization. It's almost like that. It's not Gail Benson owns the Saints and Gail Benson owns the Pelicans. It's the Saints organization that Gail Benson owns. The Pelicans are an afterthought to the Saints organization, and that's why Griffin might get a pass. And if they were more of on equal footing, that wouldn't be the case. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy fully into that narrative. I'm not going to act as if I don't see it. I think that has changed in recent years. I think that really, there's no doubt in my mind that was the case from 2012 through 2018. The Pelicans were like the redheaded stepchild, so to say, to use some terminology. But really, they have invested and wanted this organization to be good. Now, do some of the decisions they make with the Saints still carry more favor than with the Pelicans? Yes. Are they football people first? Yes. Is this a football place? Yes. But I don't know if it's quite as bad as it was between 12 and 18. Look, David Griffin coming on board was a massive step in righting a lot of wrongs, getting Mickey Loomis out of basketball. They've invested heavily to make this organization a functioning ecosystem, so to say, that is now on par with other NBA franchises. It just hasn't translated into winning. But I don't know if I buy in as much as I once did. I know I don't. They care about the Saints and they don't care about the Pelicans. That's why they don't make drastic moves with the Pelicans. I don't think I buy into that quite like I used to.
Hey, about 30 seconds, Fletch, and I got two things real quick. I remembered what I wanted to ask you. Going out of order, back to the Saints. Cam Jordan coming back for one more season. I shouldn't say one more season. Another season. I think it'll be his final one. I think he's going to get in great shape, like best shape of his life type of thing. 35, 36 age catching up, but start some, back up. I think he'll be on that roster for sure.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's on the roster. What he has left, I hope you're right. I love Cam. He's one of the Mount Rushmore guys in Saints history. So I hope what you're saying is true, but he's definitely going to be on the team and have a role. Yeah,
exactly. He might start. Who knows? Or start some. Will Wade, man. Holy smokes, huh?
I mean, look, it's crazy. He's a winner. He's going to probably get that NC State job. And, LSU basketball's in shambles now. They probably wish they could hire him back.
They should hire him back.
Yeah, but you're right.
They should hire him back right away. They would win next year. And
you're right.
The NIL is right up his alley.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
No, it's like a guarantee, too. With McMahon, there's no guarantee. You might be firing McMahon in a year or two. Maybe McMahon turns around and it was the right call. With Will Wade, you're getting about as close to a guarantee as you can get, right?
I agree. And look, what he did in today's world of the craziness of college sports, he's going to win. He's going to win big wherever he goes next. Put it that way.
Agreed. Fletch, have a great weekend.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Fletcher Mackel joining us like he does every Friday. Fridays with Fletch. Michael Hecht joins us next from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Don't move, New Orleans. Coming right back on this Fantasy Friday. A little cloudy out there. And some rain for mañana.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Hey, Michael Hecht's going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. We're doing a little juggling guests. Scott Craig was going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour, but he's agreed to join us now. What's up, Scott?
Corey, I know this. Michael Hecht's a lot more important than I am for this city.
I don't know about that. Katie's is his New Orleans.
He's done some amazing work.
Katie's is as New Orleans as it gets, bro.
Yeah, but Hecht makes a difference. I know what you're saying, man, but I'm complimenting Michael Hecht.
I hear you. I'll tell you what, man, Katie's and ironically around the block, Mandina's, it's kind of like the blueprint of how you can have a successful New Orleans style restaurant, I think, Scott. Open somewhere in Metairie or the North Shore or Mississippi Gulf Coast or Baton Rouge or Uptown or Mid-City, even wherever. The blueprint is follow what you guys do over there.
It's nice. Cindy and I work very well together. We're very good friends, and we discuss things in the neighborhood. We discuss things in business. Like, hey, what time are you closing today? We've got a storm coming. Cindy and I bounce ideas off of one another, and we've become like partners in business, even though we're not actually partners. We're very, very close, and we talk a lot, and we've spent, personal time together. Our kids went to the same school, and she and her husband and my wife and I, we're all friends, and Cindy's, they're special people, man. She's a great restaurant.
But the menus overlap a little. There's a lot of things that you have, they don't have. Their things they have, you don't have, vice versa, but there is a little crossover. I don't know.
Not too much. I did that on purpose when I reopened. I wanted to be different from Mandina's. And, we have a seafood stuffed shell pasta this weekend. It's a seafood stuffed shell. We do seafood stuffed redfish. We've got braised short ribs. We've got crawfish empanadas, smothered pork tenderloin. These aren't things that Mandina's does.
No, you're right. You're right. I guess I mean like New Orleans style, sort of.
Fried seafood.
Yeah. A little bit of that, but yeah, no, I get, you're 100% right. I guess I was thinking more like, I'll go to like Pearlist, that store and magazine.
Right.
And I go in there and they're kind of an uptown institution. I'll be like, show me your wildest stuff, when I'm in conservative Pearlist. Now I'll go to like Jeff's Haberdashery too in Metairie, and I'll be like, show me your tamest stuff. And Pearlist and Jeff's sort of that thing overlaps about 10%. But no, you're 100% right. Y'all have totally different menus, but it's pure New Orleans at Katie's, just like Mandina's. But Scott, you were just rattling off some stuff, and this is what I love when I get you on. I say this when I'm doing a Katie's live commercial. I'll be like, I had Scott on a few weeks ago, and I got 13 flounder. We're stuffing them. I got 15 soft shell crab, and I got 11 speckled trout fillets. When they're gone, they're gone. You know, I like that, you know, it's fresh, local. It's what you could get, the best stuff from the purveyor, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and we do our best to get that. I've been trying to get soft shell crabs now for a couple of weeks. They're just not, they're not in season yet. And there's no flounder out there right now either. Since you brought those two up, but we are doing brisket this weekend. Brisket on a biscuit with fried egg, cheddar cheese, and hollandaise with a side of hash browns. That's for brunch Sunday.
Wow.
We're doing a bacon, cheddar, egg, spicy chicken biscuit. Our biscuits are just outstanding, man. We make our own.
Oh boy!
And so we try to put anything we can on a biscuit.
You got the paintbrush like Popeyes. You're painting the butter on them like Popeyes used to do. What's going on over there?
It's not butter. It's margarine.
Wow.
It's fake butter.
Oh, I seriously, that makes me want to come to Katie's on Sunday. So start from the beginning. What's that debris biscuit?
The brisket on a biscuit. It's smoked brisket. You know, we have a smoker where we do our ribs and brisket.
Jeez.
Cochon de lait. It's with fried egg, cheddar cheese, and hollandaise.
Wow.
It's delicious.
All right,
yeah. And we have a smothered pork tenderloin. We're doing that.
On a biscuit?
No, that's just with loaded mashed potatoes and veggies.
Put
it on a biscuit.
What was the other biscuit you mentioned?
Bacon cheddar with spicy chicken biscuit with a side of hash browns. Those are both Sunday brunch.
And what's the size of these things? Hockey puck-ish?
They're bigger than a hockey puck.
Nice.
Biscuits are about the size of a baseball.
Wow. Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Little mini sandwich.
Yep. They're delicious.
All right. What's on the menu tonight at Katie's?
Oh gosh, I didn't get the menu yet. Hold on, I was going to have it for you for the 5:30 hour. Let me ask the boys.
This is Scott Craig. I apologize. He's a part-time employee at Katie's, and he works Tuesdays and Thursdays, so he's not very familiar. We're not talking to the owner, chef, operator of Katie's, and Francesca. I had to put you on the spot. This is the Brother Martin stuff kicking in. If he was a De La Salle boy, he'd rattle off the specials very quickly.
Oh, boy.
I had to slip in the bromo jab.
I left and went to the deli this afternoon.
Ah, Francesca.
And I had half of Tulane's baseball team in there. They're awesome. Love Jalen.
Francesca, you did to this afternoon?
Yeah. Yeah, they love Francesca. They love it.
Well, it's got that baseball vibe in there.
It does. Allman's a good dude, man. His whole staff. You know, I am a proud Tulane supporter.
No, you are, man. You're the biggest UNO supporter I know, and you like Tulane. You like all the local teams. You take care of the city of New Orleans. That's good stuff.
I actually give to Tulane and UNO, so, you know.
Now it's Lent, so you guys are amping things up over at Francesca, right? Seafood platter?
Yeah, man. We've got the seafood platters. They're family platters. You got one for 2 or 3 people, and that's a half pan of seafood.
What's it consist of?
It's shrimp, oysters, catfish, stuffed crab.
Yummy.
Hush puppies, as my dad used to call them. Shut up, you dogs. And frips with potato salad.
Shut up, you dogs. Nice.
And yeah, my dad used to call it. And it's $49, and it feeds 3 people easily. More like 4 or 5. And then the large platter is a whole pan of seafood. Same thing. It feeds 4 to 6, and it easily feeds 4 to 6 people. and that's $79.
What's on it again?
Shrimp, oysters, catfish, stuffed crab. Shrimp, oysters, catfish, stuffed crab.
Shut up, dogs.
And hush puppies and frips with potato salad. It's delicious.
Wow.
It's a big pan of seafood, and you get all the fixings with it.
No, just plop it in the middle of the table, and 4 to 6 people are just knocking it out.
Kill it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some left over. But we hadn't sold any yet today, and we didn't sell that many last week. I was disappointed.
That's
man.
crazy.
The church fries are kicking our butts.
Well, I'm going to start pushing the Friday Lent seafood platters, the $49 and $79. That's crazy. Hey, if I wanted to start with a soup and it's Lent on Friday, what am I getting at Katie's?
You at Francesca, you're getting seafood gumbo.
Excuse me, at Francesca. Oh, sorry.
You're getting seafood gumbo, and it's the best seafood gumbo you've ever had.
What's in it?
Oysters, shrimp, and crab meat.
Wow.
I make a really, really, really good seafood gumbo. I use oyster water. I ground up the oysters, grind them up, and use oyster water for part of the root. So it's really, really good.
Wow.
And Katie's, we have corn and crab soup. Corn and crab soup. So we just need folks to show up, man. Come on.
Yep. Bring it, especially during Lent.
I know you're not doing anything tomorrow. Don't be afraid. They're just telling you tornadoes are coming, so you'll stay home. Don't worry about it. You know it never happens. Come on out.
Yeah, I was saying, starting the show, the Mardi Gras, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So and now, again, tomorrow, 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Right.
Never heard that before in my life. Just about, I've heard about thunder showers and even tornado watch, but just recently, these 50-plus mile-an-hour winds. Now, Mardi Gras, we might have got to 15 or 20, 25-mile-an-hour tops. Maybe. So that's a new one from the meteorologist. I'm not bashing them.
No reason to cancel the day.
I'm not canceling anything. Exactly.
No.
I got a tea time right in the middle of all that. Now, will I cancel it? Sure, if it's raining. And I think there's a chance I'm going to cancel it because these folks seem pretty emphatic about it that do it for a living. But I don't think we're going to have 50-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, just wait. Let it happen and then deal with it. Nothing we can do. It's beyond our control. We're visiting with Scot Craig. We're going to come right back, take a quick break on this Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, it is Lent. It is a Friday. You heard about that seafood platter at Francesca and the seafood gumbo that Scot Craig says is as good as you'll get in your life. Corey Johnson with you with Scot Craig. Coming right back. Don't move.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine.
Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. You know, if it was like test time, the De La Salle student would get 15 minutes. The Brother Martin person gets like 4 hours to do the same test. We took a break, and all of a sudden, Scott Craig remembers the Katie's menu as Brother Martin Education's kicking in. Go Crusaders! Go Crusaders!
Oh, Saders, baby, Saders. I'm used to you picking on me.
Yeah. Dale Velez at Young's Dry Cleaning is going to give me a bunch of crap for busting on the Elysian Fields guys. Everybody knows it's in jest. I'm an old Catholic leaguer with De La Salle, so you know, Brother Martin Shaw, Jesuit, St. Aug, Rummel, they're fair game.
Don's a really good friend of mine. We use Young's.
Yep.
Steph goes there.
Yep.
Don graduated a year after me, I think.
They do a great job. Dale's at the Franklin and Fillmore. Don's out at the New Orleans East state-of-the-art plant. They got their roles. They take care of their customers. They do it right. I've probably been going to Young's for 35, 40 years. And my mom probably for like 60.
Yeah. I mean, Stephanie handles all that. So, I told her years ago to start using them because they were coming to They used to come to Katie's a lot. I haven't seen them in years, but they were coming there and Stephanie was using another dry cleaner. So I said, Stephanie, you really need to use the Velez's company, man. They're good friends and customers of mine. But I don't know why they quit coming. They used to come all the time.
Habits change. Scott, that's got to be one of the toughest things as a restaurateur. You're like, did I do something wrong? Was the food not right that night? A lot of the time it has absolutely nothing to do with that at all. Just lifestyle change, Mother-in-law moved in, someone died, they moved to another neighborhood, job change, whatever, Yeah,
they may have moved across the lake or something, They're good people, really good people.
So what's on Katie's menu tonight?
Oh, yeah, bro. I got that. We have stuffed redfish, seafood stuffed redfish, obviously. We have seafood stuffed shell pasta, which I mentioned earlier. Redfish nola, that's redfish over fresh veggies, with jumbo shrimp and crab on top, with herb butter. And we're doing the crawfish empanadas tonight with jalapeno aioli. And we also have a smothered pork loin for you people out there that want to break the rules and go to hell for eating meat on Friday.
Yeah, I eat meat on Friday. I'm a Catholic boy. Yeah, I'm sure I do. I don't. I mean, I give up something some Lent. Sometimes I don't.
Right.
And on Sunday, I'll not give it up. Like Sunday, I'll have it. So
I'm Lutheran, so I try to follow it. I don't eat meat on Fridays.
Hey, I went to La Boca earlier in the week. They have the crawfish empanada. What's yours all about?
It's crawfish, 3 different types of cheese, jalapenos, and caramelized onion. And we stuff it in a little dough that we make. It's almost like it's rolled out like an empanada. And we deep fry them.
Wow.
Serve them with the jalapeno aioli. They're delicious.
Wow.
We made 1,500 of them for the Guy Fieri tailgate, and nobody showed up.
Wow.
We ended up donating them to the food bank.
Wow. Food bank had some of the best damn food ever.
The Guy Fieri tailgate. They have 10 of his Triple D family restaurants, right? And we're all out there selling food. And they're giving away sliders and chicken wings on either side.
Yeah, no, it's just I saw it. That was sinful. That was sinful. What's that? Was that Fox or who did that?
No, it was I don't know. I forget the name of the company. Guy Fieri Productions or something.
No, just a nightmare. I'll never forget. The Saints are playing Minnesota in the NFC title game, and the pregame. They're like, hey, what's cooking in New Orleans? And, somebody's making like some jambalaya or gumbo or something in a big pot.
Jambalaya, crawfish pie, Creole gumbo.
Any of the above. Just look fantastic. They go to Minnesota. I'm trying to think what this thing is called. It's what it's cold vegetables with like marshmallows, and it's just all stirred up. What's that called?
Gumbo?
Yeah, maybe gumbo for Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm not kidding you.
Yes, Minneapolis style gumbo.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. It was like it was like a fruit salad, like cut up strawberries and
it's unbelievable.
And I was like, oh my God, this is their comparison? Really?
I was up in Terre Haute visiting Mark Schlesinger a month ago, he and his family. And I was making gumbo for the coaching staff in Indiana State. And I had to go shopping for seafood.
It's impossible. I mean, what did you end up making? Chicken andouille?
I found oysters at Sam's up there, and they were pretty good. They were from Rhode Island. They were pretty good. And I found shrimp, which were pretty good, man. They weren't bad. I found crawfish tails from Egypt.
Wow.
Crawfish tails from Egypt. They were packed in fat, and that's the secret to a good crawfish tail.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, had to be better than Chinese tail.
Either. But get ready for this. I could not find seafood stock.
Of course
I had to use chicken stock.
Yeah. How did it come out?
It screwed up my gumbo. It was all right.
It was all right.
It wasn't great.
Uh-oh, Blue Boy's barking up a storm. Scott, always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Katie's and Francesca, perfect spots during Lent. Katie's in Mid-City, Francesca in Lakeview. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way next. Don't go anywhere, New Orleans. You boy, down, buddy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson
Good
on
boy.
TV on Cox Channel 4 and
Good
Spectrum
boy.
Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Mr. Drew Brees, a.k.a. number 9. Correctamundo. Thank you for that intro. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. A little bit after 5 o'clock. We call it the 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. You know what that means. The weekend is upon us. Hooray! Light fuse, get away. Kaboom goes the dynamite. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Toot, toot. We like blowing that 5 o'clock whistle a little bit after 5 on a Friday because this very moment, we like putting the spotlight on it. Sometimes we just sort of blow through this moment during the week. I like recognizing it because right now, 100% of the work week is behind us. It's history. It's in the books. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of us. It's just starting. We recognize this little moment in time, a little after 5 p.m. on a Friday. We put the spotlight on it. We blow the 5 o'clock whistle, and it is appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. We just visited with Scott Craig of Katie's and Francesca. Katie's is as New Orleans as it gets. What a great place for Lent. So many great seafood dishes, seafood specials, inside dining, outside dining. The weather's perfect for outdoor dining. That seafood platter that serves 4 people, shrimp, oysters, catfish, stuffed crab. What did Scott's dad call it? Shut up doggies? Shush doggies? Hush puppies? That's hysterical. Be quiet doggies. $49 serves 3 people. You can get the full platter for $79. That'll serve like 5 or 6 people. Katie's for Lent. Katie's 7 days a week. Don't forget about Francesca either. They've got a seafood platter on Fridays. And Scott Craig said some of the best seafood gumbo. He didn't say some of the best. He said the best seafood gumbo. Francesca, the old Charlie's Deli, Harrison, in between Canal Boulevard and West End out in Lakeview. Katie's, as New Orleans as it gets, Iberville, corner Tallahassee. A Mid-City mainstay. 5 o'clock whistle brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Thanks for joining us. Nice afternoon, cloudy, but like I said, get outside tonight and dine. It's like 75 degrees right now. Perfecto. Fading into the 60s. Perfecto. Tomorrow afternoon, rain, severe, high winds predicted, tornado warning. They seem to have it down. Like tomorrow morning is going to be fine. And then maybe around 1, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, rain, some severe is going to hit the New Orleans area. And by 5, 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, it is gone. So in and out just happens to knock out Saturday afternoon. But that's what the meteorologists are saying. The next 10 days outside of mañana, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Really no rain in the forecast, lots of sunshine. 50s, 60s, and 70s. We need that gimmick from yesterday. First day in 2025, we got over 80 degrees. I'm hoping I was hoping I'd be saying that like mid-April, not mid-March. No, I'm serious. I was hoping it would be April at least. 83 yesterday. I mean, in like June or July, we'd be taking that all day long and saying what a great day it is. But in mid-March, it's like, damn, really? Really? That was a little harsh, a little brutal. Hey, they're open all weekend long. If you need a great pair of sunglasses or a great pair of prescription frames, some eyewear, Art and Eyes on Magazine. The great thing about Art and Eyes, I'm not kidding you, name brands you've never heard of from the United States, from Europe, from Japan. When you touch, feel, see, put on these frames, you're going to be like, my God, I see what Corey's talking about. High quality, like I've never seen in eyewear, maybe in your life. Not your typical mall stuff at all. The opposite. Eyewear that's as unique as you. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Google them. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. New Orleans Metro. I chuckle and I shouldn't. It's depressing. Fastest shrinking city in America. It includes the suburbs. It includes the suburbs. Now, I've often said this. Texas, the fastest growing state in America the last 40, 50 years. The South as a region, the fastest growing region the last 40, 50 years in the country. We are literally surrounded by explosive growth. We didn't miss the boat. We missed the rocket ship. Sad. Now, this just proves my point. The eastern shore of Mobile, Alabama, one of the fastest growing areas in the country. So Metro Mobile, especially the eastern shore, it's like that's the north shore, the affluent area of Mobile. Explosive growth. Explosive growth. Panama City, Florida, right past Destin. Explosive growth, one of the fastest growing areas in the country. So those metros, fastest growing. New Orleans, not slowest growing. I'd take 0.1 growth. It's the opposite. Fastest shrinking city, metro in the country. Metro New Orleans. We'll talk to Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. in about 5 minutes and get his take on that. Not good. No bueno. Speaking of no bueno, my God. On the Causeway, northbound bridge, going from Metairie to Mandeville, a guy was driving the wrong way today. And it looked like he's doing like 50 or 60. Thank God the cars heading from Metairie to Mandeville see this idiot coming in what would be their left lane, the passing lane. They stayed over to the right, thank God. And this guy's just beelining down the Causeway. I guess he either got into one of the emergency turnarounds and got going the right way or went all the way into Metairie. Anyway, he was apprehended but not arrested. Family member came and picked him up. They let him go. He was not arrested. So it must have been just some, I don't know. I mean, obviously sober. And just that the authorities, Causeway Police, felt the guy was just confused or I don't know. I have no idea why not arrested. But he wasn't. But I think there were tickets, obviously. He's going to go to court. He's going to be charged. I forget what the endangerment, whatever. I'll get you the charges. But yeah, wasn't arrested, which I thought was interesting. I don't know the circumstances, so I'm not going to make a judgment. It's like not an automatic. Just don't know the circumstances. Don't know how that went down. Anyway, crazy to say the least. Speaking of the Causeway, the northbound span, are you on it right now? It's Friday. Why don't you fire in a to-go order at Trey Yen? Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. Trey Yen in Mandeville. Curbside delivery. They walk the order literally right out to your car. Or better yet, dine in. Foot of the Causeway, you North Shore folks, convenient to obviously Mandeville, Covington, Madisonville, Lacombe, Bush, Folsom. Foot of the Causeway in Mandeville, Treyen. That means you South Shore folks, I know a lot of you are like, I don't want to cross the bridge. I don't want to take the causeway. And then you'll drive 25 minutes to go eat somewhere on the South Shore. 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center, you're at the front door at Treyen. There's no driving on the North Shore. You cross the Causeway Bridge, immediately on your left, Treyen. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc.'s going to join us in a second. We're going to find out about New Orleans Metro, fastest shrinking city in America. It's mind-blowing when there's so much growth in Texas, so much growth in the entire South. A couple of the fastest growing metros. One of them is 2 hours east of us. The other one is 5 hours east of us. Mobile, Alabama, their Eastern Shore, Daphne, Fairhope, one of the fastest growing regions of the country. And Panama City, Florida, past Destin, past Highway 30A, explosive growth.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Treyen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Treyen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at La Barre by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Now, even with the rain tomorrow, it's a great day to go to one of the Helm Paint and Decorating locations in New Orleans or Baton Rouge and pick out your paint colors. Get all the supplies you need. Because for the next week and a half, sunshine, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Knock out that paint project. When you got to do it right, in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating. Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. again on the program. What up, Miguel?
What's up, KJ? Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday. Yep, no doubt about it, man. Ready for the weekend. We kind of need it. I had Fletch on last hour. He's like, New Year, the snowfall, Super Bowl, Mardi Gras. He's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, it's been a rock'em sock'em start to the new year. No doubt. I don't know. I'm doing this alcohol-free for 40 thing, kind of this like fake Lent thing that you do with Auctioner. And I have to say, I'm kind of enjoying it. It kind of feels good just to like pull it back a little bit in general. Although I was at this really intense conference all week and it kind of was terrible not having a glass of wine at the end of the day.
No, I bet. But yeah, it is. It's in New Orleans. It's so easy to fall into that glass of wine.
Yes, exactly. That's what somebody said. They said you kind of trip and you fall into a glass of wine. It's like that person who says they don't know how they got pregnant. They just tripped and fell. And, isn't that the term in French? It's tombe enceinte. You say you fell pregnant, like you just tripped.
That's what that girl told me. I didn't believe her. Anyway, can we move on?
We should.
Yep. Michael, let's get the bad news out of the way. This just bums me out. It's been going on for 45 years. Texas, fastest growing state in the country the last half century. The South, the fastest growing region the last 40, 50 years. Louisiana and New Orleans didn't miss the boat. We missed the rocket ship. And one of the fastest growing areas in the country, Mobile, Alabama's Eastern Shore. Wait till they get the bridge to replace the tunnel, and they get the new Jubilee Parkway, which will be like New Orleans east to Slidell, 3 lanes in each direction. That Eastern Shore is going to explode. So Daphne and Fairhope, already explosive growth. Panama City, a few hours farther down the I-10, explosive growth. There's really no excuse. I mean, Mobile, Alabama, and Panama City are kicking New Orleans' rear end. That just, I don't know, Michael, that's depressing.
Well, I was thinking about the stats, and I mean, there are a couple of things. One is it's not an excuse, but it is a reality. The Census Bureau increased the threshold for being part of an MSA to make it so you have to have 25% of your population commute every day. And they did that right in 2020 when COVID hit. So as a result of that, St. Tammany, the North Shore, got split away from New Orleans.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate statistically, because St. Tammany is adding population. So if you look at the region as in the old whole, it's not going gangbusters, but it's not losing. We're actually gaining slightly. And I would still make a very, very strong argument that the North Shore and the South Shore are part of one unit.
Oh, no, I agree.
There's a little bit of just a numbers game, but that's not to make an excuse for it. So I was thinking about it, Corey. I said, what does it take for a place to grow, because ultimately population is, I think, the most accurate or the bottom line measure of a place's success.
Quality of life, opportunities,
It's got to have three things, right? It's got to have quality of life, it's got to have quality of opportunity, and it's got to have affordability, and you got to find the balance, because those three things don't necessarily, they all kind of create tension. But if you create those three things, then you're going to be successful. I mean, I was in Houston all week, and, what I would say with Houston is that Houston has quality of opportunity. Houston has affordability. I'm not so sure that Houston has quality of life necessarily. It's kind of strip malls and strip clubs, more than anything.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you got to give it credit. I mean, an example of a place that, maybe offers everything right now is Dallas, right? It's a little bit nicer quality of life than Houston. It's affordable because they got no zoning. Everything kind of spreads out, right? And then they've got
a lot of opportunity.
Opportunity out the yin yang. Yeah. So, but then I thought, well, what brings it all together? And what I think really brings it all together, frankly, is leadership. Leadership is what brings you to that. And I'm thinking about that because I'm reading a book called Greater Than Ever. It was written by Dan Doctoroff, the guy who was put in charge of rebuilding New York City after 9/11. And what he realized is that New York City wasn't doing great before 9/11, particularly lower Manhattan. So he looks at the rebuilding and actually going after the Olympics as a way to think about how do we diversify the economy to create more opportunity and be less cyclical, because their oil and gas was finance. He thinks about quality of life because New York needed more parks. And then he thinks about affordability, obviously, and he said New York needs more housing. So they took that approach, and then they had the incredible leadership of Dan and, Mayor Mike Bloomberg. And so, the formula is pretty straightforward. Executing it is, requires real enlightened leadership.
No, it does. It requires cutting edge leadership. Mobile, Alabama has that, Michael. I don't know if you know the story of their mayor. He's a white conservative guy that the black community loves. And he's like on his third or fourth term. He's like in his 12th year. They don't have term limits. I think the previous mayor was there for like 32, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, this guy Stenson, or I forget his name. I was trying to line him up for the program. I need to get back on that. They've got Airbus, they've got the steel mill, they've got Austell, the shipbuilder, they've got more containers at their port now than we do. They're about to build the bridge over the Mobile River and a new Slidell to New Orleans East bridge from the western shore to the eastern shore of Mobile. They've got their what together. Mobile's like Birmingham, Alabama as a state. 15% of all North American automotive jobs. They created that out of nothing. I mean, we need to create something out of nothing. We need to have the quality life, opportunity, affordability. And like you said, Michael, if we have that, we need somebody like Mobile's mayor that takes it to the street, that sells it, that's a leader.
Yeah, and actually that brings up another point, which is really interesting, which is that these transformations take more than a decade. And so there's something to not having term limits or allowing at least 12 years that might be really important. The most dramatic example is Lee Kuan Yew, who, ran Singapore, 2 million people, for 43 years. Or you could look at, the dailies in Chicago, right? And how many years they ran that place. There's something to a benign dictatorship that allows you to see this transformation through, because, it really doesn't happen in 4 years, and it kind of barely happens in 8 years. And we even saw in New York City when Mike Bloomberg had 12 years that you got a couple of lousy mayors after that, and backslid hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting. I'd love to maybe get me and the Mobile mayor on at the same time. We could have a he said, she said kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a fun debate.
Are you kidding me? I'd love to do that, Michael. That's a great idea. I'll line that up, get him on a Friday, get you on at the same time, and we'll talk about that. It reminds me of elected police chief, appointed police chief. You know, folks are talking about the Jefferson Parish sheriff compared to the mayor of New Orleans appointing. It's like there are pros and cons on both sides. The one you're getting in New Orleans is a pure policeman. The one you're getting in Jefferson Parish is half a policeman, half a politician. You know, so it just depends on how you look at it. But one side of me, I'm in agreement with you. And I know you're not saying it definitively like it should definitely happen, but the other side of me is like the present mayor could run again, you know? I mean, geez.
No, right. No, it's a, you know, there are two sides to the coin. It's just that for long-term transformation, you know, when I'm saying benevolent dictator, not really kidding. That's really how I think about it. You got to have somebody. I mean, that's what Lee Kuan Yew was for sure. I mean, it was strict, and he had a compliant population, but he transformed that place from a ethnically riven backwater into like third highest GDP in the world. So, you know, this stuff is it requires culture change and long-term investment, and that's you know, that's hard to get.
Well, I think the port they're building there, the container port, they're spending more money than Biden's you know, federal infrastructure plan that's going to spend ports in the entire United States. So that container terminal we want to build's $2 billion. I think the one they're building is $30 billion or something like that. But
is
anyway,
it really $30 billion?
Like $30 billion. It's fully automated there. You don't need people. It just does its own thing. There will be people there, but yeah, Google it. It's like 28 billion, something like that. Anyway, yeah, exactly. More than Biden had for all ports in the United States. I'm like, that's why we're falling behind a little bit. Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. We're going to come right back. Entrepreneur Week, Venture Global on the West Bank in Plaquemine, major expansion. They're not even open yet. And some economic development wins for the metro area and Louisiana. Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. We do it every single Friday. Corey Johnson with you. Roll until 6 o'clock. Don't move, New Orleans. More with Michael Hecht next.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at La Barre by Causeway. Smoothie King. Hey, New Orleans. If you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tomorrow, big car buying day. Head out to the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebrat, right on the corner, right on the price. The car corner, I-10 and Williams Boulevard. Home of Lamarck Ford for over 45 years. Home of Lamarck Lincoln, the #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. And if you need a commercial van or SUV, they got you covered in Elmwood. Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Michael, Entrepreneur Week going on, right?
Yeah, Entrepreneur Week is going on, and it's great. It's happening now for the first time over at Loyola, which is great. It's a really nice partnership. They've got a really nice business school that's going on over there. So people can go to the ideavillage.org website and look at the program. And we kind of had a lull in entrepreneurship, but now I feel like it's coming back in the state. They're actually starting something called Louisiana Innovation that's going to be its own standalone unit up at the state. So, yeah, it's I think an Ivy Village now under John Atkinson really, I think, has found its new legs. So feeling good about that. So people should go over and check that out over at Loyola.
I might not knock out 2 birds with 1 stone on Sunday, Miguel. You know what I might do?
Talk to me. You're talking about birds and stones. I don't know if you're talking about it. Tell me, what are you talking about?
I think I'm heading to the West Bank on Sunday. They're opening the new Belle Chase Bridge, the bridge that costs $150 million. That the company that built it's going to collect $700 million in taxes. I want that deal anyway. I wanted the bridge is an incidental, but I want to go check out the Venture Global construction going on down in Plaquemines. I know it's one of the largest construction projects really in the world, and I want to go check it out. And I've been talking about it for about 6 months, so I'm probably going to go down there Sunday.
You should definitely just go down. It's about it's about a 45-minute total drive from downtown New Orleans down to Myrtle Grove, and it's worth seeing. It's one of the wonders of the world. So go on down there and pick up some oranges and get a good meal when you're down there. But it's stunning. We had an announcement 2 weeks ago with Secretary Burgum of Interior and Secretary Wright of Energy, and it was like the most America thing ever. There was rock music playing and everything but like jets flying overhead. Governor was there. They're announcing a small $18 billion addition to their existing facility. It's going to bring their total investment there to about $40 billion, about $75 billion in the state. It's absolutely insane.
Now you say in the state, what, they have a facility in Lake Charles?
Yeah, out in Calcasieu. Exactly.
Wow. Venture Global. So the $22 billion facility isn't even finished, right?
Nope, they're still working on it, and they're just like plowing forward. It's just the scale of what they've built in 2 years is just very difficult to understand until you go and just see it. And like, a thing that's incredible, Corey, is like in 2 years we can't get a traffic light fixed, but we're building a $40 billion facility. So, I guess that's a good thing. It means that we can still build big things. It's
got to just be pickup truck city out there, like thousands of construction workers, right?
Yeah, it's just thousands of Ford F-150s and 100-foot high iron curtain piles. It's really stunning, and they're out of Washington D.C. A couple of guys. One was a banker, one was a lawyer. No background in energy, and now they're one of the biggest energy companies in the world. It's a crazy story.
When this $40 billion facility is open, how many will it employ?
I think the total number on the phase one was going to be about 800. So I guess with the addition, it'll go over 1,000. And these are good jobs. These are, average. Some of I don't know the exact average, but a bunch of them are over 100,000, but they're up there with benefits. The biggest challenge that they're having, I talked to them, I said, talk to me about, how you've been able to do in terms of hiring people, because that's always kind of the criticism is that, you're not hiring any locals. And what the person said was, we would like to hire more, but the challenge really that we have is that we can't get enough people to pass the damn drug test. And, I said, God, that's hard to hear, but, I get it. And it's not as easy as just having the jobs. You got to make sure people are trained to make sure that they can actually get them, and it doesn't happen automatically.
Now someone that would have like the marijuana, medicinal card, whatever it is, locally, where they can legally buy it because their hair hurts or whatever they said.
Right.
Can they work at Venture Global, or is it? I mean, it would seem like they would have to allow that. But so what you're saying is people are failing that don't have the card, I'm guessing, and they're failing marijuana or worse drugs, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't even know, in an environment like that, there might even be like a strict zero tolerance even for, I don't know how it works, but, they're trying, and there are a lot of locals, and the people in Plaquemines, they love it because they got people eating in the restaurants. They've got tax base. I mean, after the Conoco facility closed down, they were in a heap of trouble. So it's doing a lot of great things for the parish. It's down outside the flood wall in an area that not that many people live in. But, there are not as many locals hired, I think, as one would love, because it's just hard to, they don't want to. They don't want people commuting, but it's that's the reality of it sometimes.
So essentially those huge ocean-going ships with the big white balls sticking up above the deck, they're going to just be constantly docked at that facility when it opens, and they're going to be taking natural gas and cooling it to where it gets so cold it turns into a liquid, and they'll pump it into these ships, and then they take them to Asia and Europe and unload there and turn it back into gas. Is that basically what we're going to see?
No, that's exactly what it is. It's basically the world's largest refrigerator is really what it is. And the fact is that because of the abundance of natural gas and fracking technology in the United States, we're able to frack it here, cool it here, ship it over for in places like Europe and Asia.
Yep.
And
they're like what? They're like 3 times the cost, 4 times the cost for natural gas there, right? Than what we have for what we get charged, right?
That's exactly right. And the reality is that with energy going through the roof, as well as with Russia, being an aggressor, if you don't have this natural gas, you're either burning coal in Asia or you're buying from Russia or China.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of benefits to it. It's not perfect, but it is really the best and most realistic bridge fuel that we have. And Louisiana is exporting the majority of natural gas out of America. So we are essential. And actually, when we were in Houston last week, we met with a group from Rotterdam. And that's where it all gets imported into. So it's going to be a New Orleans. It's going to be a Louisiana, Netherlands connection.
Nice. I like that. Hey, Michael, about a minute left or so. You got some New Orleans or Louisiana economic development victories?
Yeah, it's this weird thing, Corey, is that you got, the bad news about population not doing great. But then when you look objectively what's happening on the economic development side, amazing things are happening. And so maybe there's just a lag. So the Governor Cup Awards came out from Site Selection Magazine, and our metro was ranked number 2 for economic development projects in America. And Louisiana was top 10 in wins per capita. Now, the caveat on that is that we were number 2 for total economic development projects. I think it was 40 for the year last year. But that is because we're now in the second tier. So because we got knocked out of that first tier, we were always kind of a small member of the first tier. We're now a large member of the second tier. So, I guess the statistical stuff cuts both ways. But, if I had my druthers, I would still much rather that we were generally considered the bigger unit, because I think it's actually more honest, more accurate.
Right. Anything else before we visit next week, Michael?
Oh, man. I think that's it. I just got back from this huge energy conference and met with the Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Interior, all kind of characters, Rick Perry, and a bunch of executives, people from Australia. Louisiana is playing hard in the energy game now, and I give a lot of credit to the governor and Louisiana Economic Development for that.
Yep, you got to give Jeff Landry credit. There's no doubt about it. Democrat or Republican, this guy's made some major changes in the tax structure that's going to bring in business, hopefully, and crime reduction in New Orleans. You got to give Jeff Landry credit.
He's doing it.
Yep.
All right, my friend. Stay dry tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. You too. Thanks, Michael.
All right, man. Have a great weekend.
You too. That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant in Elmwood and on the North Shore, and they're hiring. If you live on the East Bank or the West Bank, they got you covered at their Elmwood facility. If you live on the North Shore, their I-12 facility's hiring. Go to latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I TRAM, Latrim.com. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs available right now, this very moment at Latrim.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's Latram.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock powwow, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, Sunday, that Plaquemine Parish Bridge opens, the Bell Chase Bridge. A $150 million bridge opens on Sunday officially. There'll be no tolls to start, but then Plaquemine Parish residents will be charged a quarter every time they cross it. And some of those 18-wheelers, maybe heading down to the Venture Global Expansion, they're going to be charged nearly $9 for using that bridge. The folks that built it will collect tolls of around $700 million over the next 20 years or so. Seems like a no-brainer. I wish I had that contract. Seems like if I had that contract where I'm going to build a bridge over the, Bell Chase Canal, intracoastal. The states give me the contract, It's going to cost $150 million. Here are the traffic counts. And the state's agreed to let me collect $700 million in tolls over 20 years. I mean, what would be the interest over 20 years on $150 million? It ain't $700 million. There's hundreds of millions of dollars in profit in that deal. And I think any bank, or banks in this case, would lend anyone, a bum on the street, the money if they had the contract and the wherewithal, the organization to get it done. So I don't know. I mean, I understand that that's how the state gets it built, and mostly 18-wheelers are going to be paying for it. I hear you. Anyway, I'm on Sunday. I may take that bridge down to Myrtle Grove because I want to check out this Venture Global that they're building. I mean, a $22 billion plant that they're not even finished with. And they've already decided to continue building and expand, almost doubling the size, another $18 billion. Just crazy. Like $40+ billion. This is like the largest privately built project in the world right now. The largest privately funded project in the world. I mean, there might be some government project in China that's bigger. This is amazing, all in Louisiana. And Michael Hecht said, we'll probably end up employing full-time over 1,000 people. So no, I just wanted to go down there because the progress they've supposedly made in building this facility is like mind-blowing. Like you could almost have like some A&E History Channel type TV show on it. I watched some China built some building, like 80-story building, a modular building in like 6 months. Just stacked the pieces up, like had to beat monsoon season, and they got it done. I watched like an hour show. You could do an hour show down at this Venture Global expansion. No, people that I've talked to have said it's mind-blowing. So I just want to go check it out myself. Plus, it's like ants on a sugar cube, like 7 days a week, nighttime shifts, just construction crews, just building and building and building and building, nonstop. Supposed to get some rain tomorrow afternoon. Like tomorrow morning's supposed to be dry. Tomorrow night, Saturday night, dry. Afternoon, especially mid-afternoon, severe weather, maybe like saying winds of 50+ miles an hour, tornado warning. We'll see. That's the forecast. I'm not worried about leaves getting in my gutters because I got the leaf guard system. I got Audubon gutters. For nearly 35 years, Drew and his family have been running New Orleans' own Audubon gutters. And they happen to be the Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. Like I always say, they don't do windows or paint or siding or roofs. All they do are gutters. If you need gutters for your home or business, do like I did just a few months ago, back in October. I got Audubon gutters installed at my house featuring the leaf guard system. So I'll never, ever have to hire someone again to clean my gutters. AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Nice afternoon, kind of cloudy. No rain tonight. You can drop coals, do some grilling outside, enjoy the weather, dine outside. It's nice weather to do that. But tomorrow afternoon, like after lunch, before dinner, we're expecting some severe weather in New Orleans. I mentioned last hour, I'd never ever heard of reports of, rain shore, wind shore, hail shore, never like 50-mile-an-hour winds like Mardi Gras Day. I was like kind of freaked out about that. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. It's almost like tropical storm. It ended up being about maybe 15, 20-mile-an-hour winds. It was windy as hell. Very windy Mardi Gras Day, but it never got to 50 miles an hour. Maybe there's somewhere it maxed out somewhere. Corey, you're wrong. It was 45 in Ketter for a second, gusts. So 50-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. I'm a little skeptical, but I'm not listening to the meteorologist. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. But we'll see what happens. Let's hope for the best. It comes in and out. Just a little bit of rain, no tornadoes, no 50-mile-an-hour winds. Hopefully it's gone quickly. The next 10 days, besides tomorrow afternoon, lots of 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's amazing. Sunny and nice for like the next 10 days. Hey, speaking of outdoor dining, Lebanon's Cafe has outdoor dining. Looking for a place to go tonight for dinner? Lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Outdoor dining, under the big green awning, under the oak trees, on the streetcar line. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. They're open till 9:30 tonight. Did I mention outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe? No, that's one great thing about New Orleans. If there's a silver lining from coronavirus crisis, it's high-end restaurants doing to-go orders, some even curbside delivery. And, I love outdoor dining, and we maybe had 24 places pre-coronavirus crisis in the whole metro outdoor dining. Now we've got dozens and dozens and dozens. What's that, Blue Boy? You like outdoor dining. I can take you to Lebanon's. We can sit outside. We can lay down on the sidewalk. You like that? I hear you, buddy. You're ready for a walk right now. You're glad I'm heading home. We're going home. Thanks, Blue Boy. Now, buddy, have a great weekend, New Orleans. Be safe tomorrow. See you Monday at 4. Stay dry.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Down,
also
Blue.
on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.